you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kyla. I am a licensed esthetician. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about, I got a question in my comments basically asking like, how do you know if this industry is right for you, especially for someone who is a bit more introverted, which I am. My tips, I guess, on knowing if this industry is correct for you, it may sound like basic, but just stick with me. Basically, like, are you passionate about it? I think when things get hard, passion is what keeps you going, because when you first start out and you don't have any clients and you realize that school only taught you the very minimum, it can start feeling like overwhelming, or you could start to even feel a sense of being defeated, and I think actually enjoying it and having passion about it is what keeps you going. Because also in the beginning, I work at a dermatologist's office, and one of the big pros of me doing that was that typically you'll get paid hourly in the medical setting, and not commission based. And starting off, I really wanted to be in an environment like that, because you don't have any clients, you know what I'm saying? So it was a bit easier for me in that regard. There's definitely pros and cons of being like in the medical setting and then being more like a spa, or even having like your own suite and things like that. But I would say that in the beginning that was a huge pro for me, because if you are like commission based, or when you don't have clients in the beginning, it can be overwhelming, mixed with the fact that like you don't really truly know what you're doing yet, and it can just start feeling like you can just start feeling defeated very easily. And I think that's when the passion about actually enjoying what you're doing comes in and just keeps you going and keeps you consistent and showing up every day, just knowing that you truly love what you're doing. As far as being an introvert, I don't really have a problem. There are clients out there for you if you are more introverted and just more chill. I don't feel like you have to be extremely extroverted and extremely just like, to be successful. I think you just have to be confident in who you are, and people will come, because there are other introverted people too, like me being an introvert. When I go get services done, it's not that I don't like service providers that are super extroverted, but I tend to gravitate towards people that are more chill like me, so you have to realize you're not the only introverted person in the world. And I know this may look like an industry where you have to be like, but honestly, I would say no. I would say that's been like the least challenging thing, is me being an introvert. So I think if that is what you're like afraid of, there is a place for you in this industry, and there are clients for you that fit your vibe and your personality, and like, so I wouldn't be worried about that. Just continue to show up as you, and that's all you can do, really. Personally, I think to be really good and really successful and really master your craft, I think you have to niche down. There's just so much you can do with an esthetician's license, from like waxing to permanent makeup, like microblading, to being a makeup artist, to doing facials, to doing waxing. Did I say waxing already? Like, there's just so much you can do with an esthetician's license that I feel like, I think niching down is key. And I think that's another like cool thing about this industry, is that you can do so much with the license, and there's like, you don't know what you will love the most, and I think finding your niche is really, really cool. My next thing relates, I guess, kind of to my first point of having passion. To be successful in this industry, you have to be a self-starter and you have to be self-sufficient. Like I said before, school teaches you how to pass the state boards. A lot of your knowledge and experience is gonna come from you putting in the effort to gain that. Honestly, I don't think anyone comes out of school knowing how to be a good esthetician. You just learn like the bare basics and how to pass your state boards, and the real work, the real learning, the real mastering your craft, I believe, comes after school. So I think you have to be willing. Like, this is really an industry where you have to be on it. No one's gonna hold your hand. No one's gonna, like, you know, like, you have to know how to speak up for yourself, know how to ask for what you need to learn. You know what I'm kind of trying to say? Like, you have to be willing to put in the work to be the best that you can be, because it also is a fairly competitive industry, especially because it is just like gaining so much more popularity. I feel recently that yeah, there is a lot of competition out there, and I don't want that to discourage you either, because there can be a million estheticians out here. You are still valuable in the space just as much as anyone else around you, and I feel like we only take up that mindset when it pertains to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, there were a million fast food restaurants, maybe not a million, but there are tons of fast food restaurants. That didn't stop Chick-fil-A from popping on the scene. You know, like, Chick-fil-A offers something that nobody else was really doing it how they do it. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't believe in oversaturation, because you can always bring something different to the table. You can always, I just feel like there's enough space for everyone to be out here. That was a weird analogy, but you get what I'm saying? Like, don't let that discourage you that it seems oversaturated. But I think a lot of why we feel that is because of social media and the visibility of so much stuff. It's like, you didn't see 1,000 estheticians posting on TikTok or Reels, or, you know what I'm saying? I think it's just because we have such instant access to visibility that you think something's like too saturated. But I'm telling you, what God has for you is for you, and no one can take that away. Well, you know, there's no you there. You know, God created you for a purpose, for a plan, and you can mess around and miss your blessing thinking that, oh, there's too many people out here doing it. You know, you're not out here doing it, and that's what you could have been put here for. You don't know. So I think if you feel passionate about it, if it's something you want to do, if you think you'd be amazing at it, don't allow your mind to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I feel like we have to separate our feelings from the truth. I have to do that all the time. Like, separate your feelings from what's real. Your feelings are not always an indicator of what to do. Your feelings can be deceiving, and don't let self-doubt get you to a place where you don't do something that you know you were supposed to do. Okay? I have two more. One is confidence and resilience. You just have to have confidence. You are dealing with people's skin. You are doing something that they are paying you their money for. You have to be confident in what you are doing. It doesn't mean you have to make any promises. It doesn't mean you have to make any guarantees, but you do need to be confident in what you are doing. And I think confidence just comes with practice and experience. And sometimes I feel like confidence in the treatment room was hard for me at first, because I'm so just like, I wouldn't even say I'm like shy. I'm just introverted, and I'm really like a quiet person. Like, I'm a very reserved person. I don't speak a lot unless I'm spoken to, but I feel like when you are the person taking control of the room, your patient has to feel safe with you, and they have to feel confident in the plan and what you guys are doing. And sometimes, like, just me just being more reserved, I wasn't saying enough or showing enough confidence to let people know like they're in good hands. Resilience, because you can be amazing and things happen. You know, everyone's skin is different. A lot of times I'll go through a consent form and go through like expectations. I'll go through all this stuff, have people sign stuff, and then something will happen. Like for instance, this was like when I was in school, and this literally traumatized me. But I was doing this lady's eyebrows. We had this whole like consultation sheet. I asked her, was she using any retinols, any like acne medication, anything for her face? She said no. I asked her, has she been waxed? She said yes. I said recently. She said yeah. Anyways, I end up ripping off her skin. Called my educator in. Like, it was my first brow wax. It was my first brow wax ever. I was petrified, and I was just like looking at this lady's raw skin, and I just like didn't even know. I didn't know what to do. My educator's like, what's your skincare routine? And she went through her skincare routine. Sure enough, what'd she say? She used retinol. She uses retinol. It freaked me out so much. I did not want to do eyebrows, and like Jenny made sure I literally did eyebrows the next day so that I wouldn't like let that fear keep simmering. But definitely resilience. You gotta know how to get back up. That doesn't mean you're a bad esthetician. It doesn't mean, you know, you have to correct and pivot and keep moving. Also, if someone just isn't forth with the information, you know, things can happen, and it is freaky and it is scary, but you got to know how to be professional about it, and you just got to know how to move forward, how to get back up, and just keep going. And the last one, this is just my personal opinion. I wouldn't say that this is a fact or anything like that. I truly believe in this industry to make like real significant money. I do believe that you have to be like entrepreneurial in some way. In the medical setting, you typically do get paid hourly, like way more than you would at a spa. But when you build a clientele and then you start thinking about like the work that you are doing, how much these people are paying, but then what your pay is, it's like, even if that pay is good, when you really start putting two and two together, you realize that you could be making way more money. I feel like if you're okay with making a certain amount, of course I'm not gonna be like everyone needs to be an entrepreneur. Like, if you're okay making like good decent money, that's fine. But I feel like if you really want to be at the financial like reach another financial height, I think when you feel like you have enough experience and you feel like you know what you're doing, your clientele is up, I think it is smart to be entrepreneurial in some way, shape, or form. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to like open a brick and mortar like physical store, but even if you just like had a suite, rented a suite, or like, you know, solo salons and stuff like that. But yeah, those are just my little suggestions on things you should consider or could consider before deciding if you want to go through with going to school and joining this industry. I will see you guys in my Thank you guys so much. I will see you in my I'll see you in my next video, guys.